Hi folks, hello and welcome back to another video right here on the channel. So Melody, it is the beginning of another month, which means only one thing.
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter. Okay guys, so I say this all the time, anybody new here, what we do, we show 4 magazines, we show 4 figurines from the Fanhome Streetfighter 2 collection. This one, we want to start off first because we have the subscription, we get free gifts, don't we? So just going to show that first, guys, before we get into the 4 magazines and 4 characters. So this is the special edition Cammy figure. Okay, so you will see her, along with everything else, at the end on the turntable, okay? So, guys, let us begin. So we're up to issue 27 already, can you believe it? So by the time we finish this one, the number 30, we'll be halfway through the series.
Wow.
There's 60 actual figures to show. What I'm going to say is next month is a real treat because talking to subscriber giveaways, there is like bookends. There's one with Ken, there's one with Ryu, and it's also like in a pose to fight. And we've got the first, half of that one to show. So that's going to be really good. Okay, guys. So we are going to start seeing more free stuff as we go further into the series now because obviously we've gone along. We've had so many boxes. That's the way these things work. You get like say 5 boxes and then you get a free gift and yeah, yada yada. Okay. So we're going to start with number 27 and a guy. Is a guy? Looks like a lady. Yeah, a lady. So, yeah, Sea Viper. Okay. So there is Sea Viper. Okay.
She looks like one hot chick.
Yep. Again, another one of the ladies from the Street Fighter universe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the technological spy. Okay, an expert fighter who boosts her abilities with electronic devices. Sea Viper is a fighter belonging to the criminal organisation known as SIN, S-I-N, where her main task is to test advanced prototypes of weapons in fighting tournaments. But few know that she is a double agent. Okay, so already, I say this every time, don't I? The amount of like interesting backstories to these characters. Any of you guys played with or heard of Sea Viper? I personally not. But again, as you get further into the magazines, it tells us where he or she or they come from. So yeah. Street Fighter 4, 2008, ironically. Okay. So she said, I promised my daughter that I'd be home early. This combat is going to be shorter than you think. So it looks like a little bit of an anime there with her and Ryu. Possibly a Japanese TV show or something, maybe. Okay, so did you know the Deadly Dame, Sea Viper, was one of the new characters introduced in Street Fighter 4. During the creation of the 4 characters that would debut Street Fighter 4, first published in the arcade in 2008, the idea of the designers was to make Viper a fighter with a clear preference for technology instead of traditional martial arts. Yeah, I mean, we obviously, it was last month where we saw one of the cops. So you've seen like cops and all, and aren't you, kind of as backstories in these things. Okay, so let's go with her profile then. So the 18th of July, date of birth, United States of America, 1.75 metres in height, 56 kilograms in weight, and again, like I just mentioned there, Street Fighter 4, 2008, her first appearance. Okay. So, skills and techniques, and she is a deadly weapon. Okay, so we have Thunder Knuckle, the lightning punch, burst time, which is a fire wheel, looks like a kind of forward scissor kick with flames coming off, seismic hammer, the earth tremor, and burning dance, the sliding flame. So straight away we see on there the different manoeuvres. I say that flame one looks really
it does, yeah,
dangerous, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there's the picture there. This looks almost like cyberpunky. Yeah, is that just the impression I'm getting, or is it just like maybe because like it looks like sort of futuristic?
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure there, guys. It's probably just the city that she's in with the backdrop, but just give me that real sort of cyberpunk kind of vibe, you know, which is never a bad thing. Okay, so the Legend of Street Fighter, one-on-one Street Fighter and competitive gaming. So Street Fighter stood out from the beginning in one-on-one combats, okay? Street Fighter 2 saw the emergence of the one-on-one fighter, and it's just basically, looks like we're going right back to the very beginning. Before the emergence of video game competitions or esports, before the internet was part of our daily life, Street Fighter became a landmark thanks to the fact that players could confront each other one-on-one. Yeah, so we're going right back to the very early days in this fantastic sort of series of articles every magazine. And you know what I like about them as well? You don't have to like read issue 1 right through. You can kind of pick up issue 15 or issue 30, you know, whatever, and just sort of see them as they are, individual articles and journalism upon obviously different features. Okay, the history of Capcom, Dark Nemesis, The Punisher. So have a look at the Punisher. Looks like a side-on scroll there. Or Marvel, Marvel, the comics publishing house that today enjoys a remarkable success thanks to its blockbuster film division, has in fact been hugely popular for many decades. Since 1982, many video game developers have acquired licenses. Yeah, Spider-Man, X-Men. Capcom couldn't lag behind, and 1993 saw the release of The Punisher, a dramatic arcade game. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to see a wee bit of that there. Okay. Looks like quite a good little game.
Yeah.
And then we finish off with other famous Marvel titles. So it mentioned the X-Men there. So after The Punisher, Capcom created more games with Marvel superheroes as main characters. So Frank Castle, The Punisher, kickstarted a partnership between companies that would lead to the franchise's Marvel versus Capcom games. But other games away from the one-on-one fighting genre were also created. Okay, so that just gives us a little look there at some of those. And I've got to admit, a little bit of an underwhelming issue for me, this one. Normally you kind of go through them and you're like, oh yeah, and it just doesn't seem to be an awful lot for me, but obviously there are going to be big Marvel fans out there, and I know there are. Okay, just a slight little criticism there, a little bit of artwork of Sea Viper. And if you'd be as kind, Melody, to show Sea Viper. Again, guys, like I say, these are all shown, as you know, in the turntable at the end. Okay, so issue 28, Guken. And this is another one of the older ones. He looks like maybe one of the masters. Okay. So, Guken, the Great Master, the last guardian of the Ansatsuken techniques. Tragedy struck Guken when he was very young, but with unbreakable determination he was able to carry on. He was the guardian of the Ansatsuken, a fighting style whose origins are lost in time, which enables him to defeat even death. I wish it enabled me to defeat trying to pronounce it. Trust in physical abilities is not enough. The true power is in the mind. Okay, so yeah, it could be one of these characters, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. And he says, don't look for the approval of other people. Every person must choose and follow his own path. I like that. There is a life lesson, okay? Forget what others think. Fuck them, okay? Follow your own path. Who knew? Okay. Did you know? A strange genesis. Guken's origin is one of the most interesting ones in the Street Fighter saga. You must defeat Shen Long to stand a chance. The story starts with these words, a sentence said by Ryu in a Western version of Street Fighter 2. This reference to the mysterious Shen Long was actually a mistake in the translation from the original Japanese. From then on, rumours started to circulate about Shen Long being Ryu and Ken's teacher, and I'm going to leave it there, okay? But it does go further on to a little bit of history over Shen Long and whoever he is. Okay, so Guken, date of birth unknown, birthplace Japan, 1.85 metres in height, 90 kilograms, and he first appeared. Says first appeared in Street Fighter 2, Ryu, manga, 1993. So I wonder if that was actually like a Street Fighter 2 manga. It would have been like either a film or more than likely a magazine, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And that's where he appeared as like a video game first.
Yeah.
Okay, so skills and techniques, and says the power of experience. Here we go. Goadoken, the heavenly projectile. Shin Shoryuken, the supreme dragon. Shenkugo Soha, the mortal impact, and Denjin Hadoken, the electric bomb. Okay, so there's a picture, a close-up of our friend Guken and his special moves. Okay, so as you all know, every character has your basic kick, punch, high, medium, low, and fiddle around with a few little moves, a couple of buttons, you get like special moves. You know those ones where you just kind of bash away and all of a sudden Chun-Li starts doing all kinds of technical stuff you don't know you do it. Okay. Okay, so is it me these magazines getting thinner? So there's our picture of Goku.
Cool.
So it looks like a little bit of a, not a hermit, like, but a little bit of a loner. He's sitting there in the wilderness. He's obviously either been like meditating or he's sort of sitting there contemplating life. Or maybe like me contemplating my next board game or something like that, you know. Okay, the legend of Street Fighter, video game tournaments, Street Fighter and esports, the electronic gaming phenomenon has Street Fighter at its heart. It would do really, wouldn't it? To be fair, esports like your competitions and heavily televised, millions of pounds involved in them if you're the top players. And it is what it says, it's electronic sports, you know. So Street Fighter has become one of the great staples in the world of esports, and then just goes on to tell us about the tournaments and some of the arenas and how big these things actually are. Just to give you a little bit of a blip there. Okay, so that is actually like a big sort of screen, and if you look here, you can sort of see like, you know, crowds in what appears to be like an arena. So yeah, you know, very big. I don't know whether there's like even an age thing with it, you know, would you have to be, I presume it's like maybe some of the younger players, the teenagers, who are really good at these games. I don't know. The history of Capcom. The robot from the future, Mega Man X. Okay, so after its success on the NES, the Mega Man franchise reinvented itself to make the leap to 16-bit. Mega Man is brilliant. Mega Man is, it started like it said there on the NES. It's like a platformer, and the trick of it is you have to go along from A to B through the levels, and you beat a baddie. And when you beat the baddie, you then get his power, and it's usually about sort of 10 baddies. So like say if you beat a baddie with say fire, if you went on to the next level to play the baddie with ice, then you'd have an advantage. Are you with me? So yeah, Mega Man, notoriously hard. And if there's anybody out there who disagrees, I can hear Dave Ram in the background go, no, Mega Man's not easy. Okay, ignore what Dave Ram says. All right. So, Ramy's one of my best friends. He's a staple of my retro gaming club. Lovely fella. I know he's an avid viewer of the retro stuff, so no doubt there'll be a comment below there. But yeah. Okay, so this basically just shows us some of the Mega Man stuff from the early days of the NES onto the SNES. It's Big Brother there. You've probably seen me playing some of these games.
Yeah.
This is why I've got no hair left. Okay. Completing the trilogy, Mega Man X, 2 and 3, Capcom kept placing its bets on the Super Nintendo with the first two sequels of Mega Man X. Well, again, Super Nintendo along the Sega Mega Drive were massive machines, and you know the best version, in my humble opinion, was on the SNES of Street Fighter 2 anyway, my favourite one. But hey ho, it's on to waffle in this conversation for a different day. There's Guken there with his little sketch. We get to the end of magazine number 2, and if you be as kind. Okay, so there is Guken. Okay, issue number 29, and we have a lady who looks like she belongs in either a late 80s rock video or maybe the kind of programme or cartoon that Justin watches. So Justin, this one's for you, bud. This is a lady called Poison. Alright, behave yourself, Wayne. Okay, so Poison, mistress of the whip.
Oh!
Professional fighter and manager. After her misadventures as a prominent member of the Mad Gear criminal gang, Poison decided to start a new life as a manager in the professional wrestling circuit, where she achieved indisputable success. What a long face. Stop worrying so much and learn to live in the moment. Okay, there she is, living in the moment. Okay, so again, it's something Japanese about the ladies, isn't it? They like them a little bit risky, don't they?
And not many clothes on.
Someone tell me below. I don't know, you know. But yeah, okay. Do you like my shoes? Well, I'll let you see them closely when I begin to kick your face.
Do you like my shoes? Is that what the new chat-up line is?
So she's very hot looking and very sassy at the same time, I suppose. Date of birth, 7th of December. Birthplace, the United States of America. 1.75 metres in height, 52 kilograms weight. And her first appearance was in Final Fight, 1989. That was where I knew I seen her. Yeah, Final Fight, again, we always talk about on the show. Side-on beat 'em up. And some of the ladies, a bit like the Streets of Rage series on the Mega Drive as well, are quite scantily clad with whips and high heels. That's where I've seen her. Okay. The law of the whip. Charmaine wants to try that on you, Wayne, the Lord of the Whip, but I know you'd only enjoy it, mate. Okay. So it's become quite an episode, this, really, hasn't it? Quite a lot of shout-outs. And I've got the devil in me today. Okay, so controlling Poison is tricky, and her behaviour in Street Fighter 10, Tekken and Ultra Street Fighter 4 differs considerably from that in Street Fighter 5. The weapon she wields in the first two titles is a short riding whip, then it gets changed to a longer whip. Okay, so it goes on about that. So it says Poison uses weapons that allow her to attack her rivals from middle and long distances. Now, I actually like her as a fighter because I do like range fighters. Okay, so her main technique, Aeolus Edge, is the whipping from afar. The Love Hurricane, the painful pleasure. Kissed by a Goddess, the vertical caress. Love Me Tender, the street heel kick.
I like this woman.
And in at number 1, in the pornography show is... Have a little bit of fun today. Okay, there you go, guys. So again, never judge a book by its cover. This lady is obviously lethal with her manoeuvres. Oh, okay, very nice picture there. There you go, boys. And one for the ladies if that's your persuasion. Okay?
You know, when you've got the same coloured hair and all that. Watch out, Nick.
The Legend of Street Fighter. Street Fighter, the movie. Oh, crikey, everyone cringes. Even I felt that little cringe then. In the 80s with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think Kylie Minogue was actually in it as well. It was Cammy, I think. The Street Fighter, the movie game, had different versions. Oh, God, there was a game of it. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm just going to show you the pictures. I remember seeing it at the time, and it was like most 80s films, and I love 80s. Anyone who knows me knows I adore the 80s. Little plug there. Keep an eye out the next couple of months for something 80s related. Okay, but I can't condone Street Fighter. I picked the Mortal Kombat video game movie over it, but there's not a lot to choose, to be fair. They're quite like rubbish is a word I'd use. Okay, the history of Capcom. Okay, what's this? Capcom's console, Capcom Power System Changer. It says Capcom also explored the hardware for the home market, obviously massive in the arcade, Capcom. And just shows a list of games here and the home catalogue. I'm going to read this little chapter because it's going to mean something to arcade fans and maybe Jason, who does like a lot of MAME gaming. But to everybody else, I do apologise, okay? And yourself, Mel. The home catalogue. In its 2 years of life, the CPS Changer accumulated 11 titles in its catalogue. Okay, so choose the CPS and CPS2 boards, okay? All these games are exactly like the arcade games of the same name, except for the last one, Street Fighter Alpha. Since this title was developed for the more technically powerful CPS2 system board, Capcom had to make some changes to adapt it to the CPS Changer. I've never seen this. I don't know what this is. I've learned something new today. For a machine, a vintage machine, it maybe it's arcade roots is maybe why I've missed it, because I have more knowledge of home consoles and stuff, but yeah, that is very, very interesting. Okay. Fusion of console and arcade stick. What is it?
Capcom Home Arcade?
The Capcom Home Arcade, which most of you know, we've got here. We were already playing Street Fighter the other day on it there, guys. Okay, so Capcom returned to domestic hardware with its distinctive product. Years after launching the CPS Changer, Capcom developed another system especially tailored for the home market, a playful fusion between an arcade game panel and video game console, complete with 16 integral games. This thing is amazing. We love it, don't we?
Yeah.
We really do. I mean, it's got Street Fighter 2 on, which obviously endears it to me more than anything. That's my most played game, but there's stuff like the 1944 game, or the 1940s game, and I think it's 4040, scrolling arcade shooter where you're in like a plane and you're going up, sort of trying like around the Pacific. You've got various beat 'em ups. You've got side-on scrollers. It's a really, really good machine. If you have a chance to play one, or better still, if you have a chance to own one, do it. Okay. And our last little bit there, Miss Poison herself with her little scribble, and if you'd be as kind, Melody.
Yes, well, there she is in all her glory with her riding whip and her handcuffs. And not many clothes on, as you can see, boys.
Another scantily clad young lady from the Street Fighter universe. Okay, guys, so let's go for it. If you're still here, issue 30. And this is a fella called Dudley. A bit like Balrog, I think, with the boxing gloves. Looks like a pretty dapper gentleman. From a time gone by, do you know, straight away with that haircut, it reminds you of Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
We've been watching Peaky Blinders lately, guys. Do you guys watch it? Drop comments below. We're up to the end of season 4, I think, so no spoilers, please. But yeah, very dapper looking gentleman. Okay, Dudley the Gentleman boxer, a fighter with exquisite manners. Dudley is British from the root to the fruit. Fond of rules and strong advocate of boxing as the noblest of contact sports, he always fights with honour and is seeking to return his family to its former glory. And he says, "It's almost tea time, so I beg your pardon if I knock you down too quickly." Okay, so there he is, a very British aristocratic kind of guy. Okay, so it says, from professional to international, Dudley was successful and became the heavyweight champion in the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, the debts accrued by his father were huge and he couldn't repay them, despite the large amount of money he earned. In addition, a particular thorn in his side was in his inability to find the old family car, a classic vehicle he adored, and which he had sold off at an auction to raise money. So he's got a bit of a backstory, this guy, hasn't he? And he says, definitely understanding the honour implied in a duel is beyond your reach. So he's obviously one of these quite, not swarmy, but a very aristocratic kind of guy who tells his opponents just what he thinks. Okay, so 27th of January, date of birth, and I think for the first time this series, 30 figures in, we have country of origin, the United Kingdom. Our own homeboy. Okay, so 1.85 in metres, 101 kilograms, and his first appearance was Street Fighter 3. Okay, so again, guys, there he is. We're getting this impression of him there. Very, you know, could be an interesting guy. Okay. Quick and straightforward, Dudley specialises in the typical techniques and moves of a traditional boxer. Oh, there you go, very different to those of Balrog, because Balrog is one of the other characters, isn't he? Big guy who has the boxing gloves.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says, feints and projection attacks make Dudley a stealthy, quick and unpredictable boxer. Okay, so his main technique is the machine gun blow, then the rolling thunder, the jet upper, and the corkscrew cross. So yeah, this guy is just coming at you, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a standard and a banger. You know, he's not doing anything fancy apart from just trying to knock your teeth out, is he? So yeah, I'd play as this guy. I would. I'd give him a go. Justin Eve. He's just something different. Like as the world knows, I'm a Ryu man. I don't move from Ryu or away from Ryu. I just play as Ryu. So yeah, it would be interesting to actually sort of see and get hold of another character. Yeah, there is a Peaky Blinders touch in there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there you go, guys. So there is Dudley there. Okay, the Legend of Street Fighter, Pocket Fighter, the Capcom fighters in miniature form. Okay, Pocket Fighter was full of charm, fun and humour in all aspects. It looks like it was available on the Sony PlayStation as well. It says also in a compilation of Street Fighter Alpha Anthology for PlayStation 2 published in 2006. So again, another one for you retro gamers where I say every episode, retro gaming and Street Fighter tend to overlap, don't they? So look how cute they are. It's a little Ryu and a little Chun-Li. Okay. So I say take no notice though, guys. Deceptively wicked little game despite the cuteness of our said characters. The history of Capcom, the wrestling spectacular, Saturday Night Slam Masters, played it, loved it. Okay, so it's a one-on-one kind of fighter, except instead of having your background as like a street or whatever, it's actually a wrestling ring and an arena. Okay, so it tells us all about that, and I think this is where I played it first. It says wrestling for home consoles and shows the Super Nintendo. I think I have got it as well on my Neo Geo. I'm not sure over licensing, so that might just have been a random comment that I'd sort of pulled out of mid-air there, guys. But if not, I've got something to certainly like it. Okay? But yeah, so you can see there, guys, like a little bit of wrestling involved there. instead of our normal kind of backgrounds. Really, really good game from what I can remember. It really is. Anybody else play it? Comments below, folks, please. I'm finishing off with more wrestling, Muscle Bomber Duo and Ring of Destruction. So it says a revision of the first Slam Masters and a second release expanded the series. Muscle Bomber Duo Ultimate Team Battle was a revision of the original Saturday Night Slam Masters. Yeah, so it just goes into their franchise and kind of rounded the article off there, guys. So quite an interesting magazine, a bit better than the last one to be fair. And there is our little etching of Dudley on the end there. Okay. And if you'd be as kind for the last time, please, Mel. There, guys, we see Dudley. Okay, so that wraps up this episode. I say we've reached 30 figures now.
Wow.
More fantastic stuff to come. So listen, if you're still here, we thank you. That was quite an episode, wasn't it? With 4 very diverse characters and a special limited edition of Cammy at the front there. So guys, just to finish off, if you're new here, please subscribe, share, like, and more importantly, comment below. All you guys who join us every month this series, we thank you. We make this for you. Like you, we're fans. Until next time, Melody.
Bye-bye for now.
See you later.